a well-known chart analyst, is shaking things up, claiming that price predictions for this market cycle are way too cautious. If he's right, then the bold calls for $30, even $50 XRP this cycle might actually come true. Big claims, right? Now, if you've followed me here for a while, you know I've always leaned on the skeptical side when it comes to XRP hitting those kinds of numbers. I tend to keep my expectations grounded, maybe even conservative compared to some. But here's the thing, crypto's anything but predictable. Wild pumps and jaw-dropping price moves are part of the game. Even as someone who favors caution, I'll admit, those lofty price predictions, they're not entirely out of the question. In the world of crypto, the impossible has a funny way of becoming reality. If crypto is going to hit the heights everyone dreams of, it'll take way more money pouring into the market than most people anticipate. But here's the twist. One analyst thinks that's exactly what's happening. According to him, we're not just in a typical 4-year cycle. Oh no, this is something bigger. He argues that the current cycle actually started all the way back in 2018, setting the stage for what could be a massive shift. He's not the only one with this perspective, by the way. Another well-known chart analyst, Credible Crypto, comes to mind. While I'm not featuring him in this video, he's been arguing since 2019 that the 2018 market wasn't the end of a cycle, it was actually the start of one long extended bull run. Now, I'm not saying his take is exactly the same as the analyst I'm highlighting today, but it's interesting to see reputable voices suggesting that this might just be one continuous run. Whether you agree or not is totally up to you, but I think it's always worth exploring different viewpoints. That's what this channel is all about, diving into diverse ideas and perspectives to help you make up your own mind. What if he's right? Imagine a massive blow off top for XRP, bigger than anything we've seen before. If that happens, those bold price predictions floating around might actually become reality. It's a wild scenario to consider, isn't it? I'll admit I'm still a bit skeptical, but it's definitely food for thought. What do you think? Could we really be on the verge of something that epic? Here's the kicker. More and more analysts are buzzing about big moves for XRP this summer. We're talking serious price action. June, July, August, possibly sooner rather than later. And honestly, I'm starting to buy into the theory that one final explosive pump is on the horizon. Here's an intriguing take from chart analyst Osimka that might just catch your attention. The chart at the top tracks the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10 coins known as others. This chart dives into the often overlooked altcoin space. But here's where it gets really interesting. At the bottom, we've got the Bollinger Band's width, BBW, a tool used to measure market volatility. And Osimka's observation is a game changer. He points out that altcoins have been stuck in a massive 8-year volatility compression. Yes, you read that right, 8 years. According to his analysis, the 2-week BBW is hitting levels of volatility so low. This has only happened 5 times before. And historically, such compression often signals one thing: a massive move could be brewing. Asim goes further, tying it to Elliot wave theory, suggesting that the current crypto cycle, which kicked off in 2018, hasn't yet seen real expansion. If that's true, we might be on the brink of something big. Something that could redefine the altcoin landscape. Let's take a moment to zoom out and think about this. For years, we've been caught up in the rhythm of 4-year cycles. Exciting, sure, but maybe missing the bigger picture. Even in 2020, we saw an upward move, though some folks had their gripes. And then came 2021. If you were around, you'll remember people saying it felt tame compared to the wild ride of 2017. But here's the kicker. What if 2021 wasn't the real deal? What if that wasn't true expansion, just the warm up? Think about it. If the real expansion hasn't hit yet, what's coming next could blow everything we've seen out of the water. Forget tame, we're talking ballistic growth, a whole new level of excitement. That's the kind of potential we're staring down. So here's the big idea. What if the market is setting us up to expect way less than what's actually coming? Imagine this. What if the price action we've seen so far, as thrilling as it's been, is just the warm-up act? The argument being made here is that we haven't even hit true expansion yet. And if that's the case, everything we've experienced so far might feel normal in hindsight compared to what's potentially still ahead. Something far crazier and, frankly, life-changing. It's a bold take, right? But here's the kicker. If this theory holds up, those analysts with sky-high price predictions, ones I've personally found overly optimistic, could actually be onto something. I'm not saying I'm flipping my base case just yet, but it's worth considering. After all, no one's got a crystal ball here. The market keeps us humble, and the truth is, nobody knows for sure. But hey, it's conversations like these that make this space so exciting. The ideas, the hypotheticals, the what ifs, they spark something. And when it's coming from people with proven track records, it's worth taking a closer look. Speaking of wild expectations, you've got to see this latest insight. Check out this fascinating post from chart analyst Malleus featuring the total 3 chart priced against the S&P 500. So what's the total 3 chart? It's a snapshot of the top 125 cryptocurrencies, leaving out the heavyweights, Bitcoin and Ethereum. By comparing this chart to the S&P 500, you get a clear view of how crypto is performing against the stock market. Here's the interesting part. While crypto tends to move in sync with the stock market during major trends, its wild volatility means there are moments of clear divergence. Take the FTX collapse, for example, a prime case of crypto breaking away from the usual pattern. Crypto has had its ups and downs. When it takes a hit, it's rough, but when it outperforms, it really soars. That's where things get interesting. You can see a break in the usual patterns because when crypto starts to outperform, it leaves other markets in the dust. Zoom out for a moment, though, and you'll notice the bigger picture. Crypto and stocks often move in the same direction. Why? Both are risk-on assets, meaning they thrive when investors feel bold. Here's where it gets exciting. Take a look at total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum compared to the S&P 500. We're nearing the length of a previous accumulation phase, 630 days to be exact, which was 1.5 times longer than the earlier downtrend. Now, this cycle is stretching even further, hitting a staggering 679 days of downward pressure. I believe it's fair to assume that the current accumulation phase could last as long as the previous one, which means we might not see any significant movement until mid-June at the earliest. While I don't think a breakout by then is highly likely, given the current market structures, it's not entirely off the table. That said, there's still a chance we could see total 3, which includes XRP, by the way, start to gain momentum around that time. It's a wait and see game, but the possibilities are definitely intriguing. It's already June night. Time's flying, isn't it? Here's an interesting thought. If the accumulation phase matches the length of the downtrend, we're looking at early August for a potential shift. Now, if it stretches to 1.5x the downtrend, that pushes the timeline much further, but honestly, that feels like a long shot. Either way, we're not too far off from total 3, starting to outshine the stock market. A few extra weeks or months of waiting won't change the bigger picture. Patience, after all, is part of the game. Get ready, folks. Things are heating up in the crypto world. While we may need to hang tight for a few more weeks or even months, the signs are pointing to an exciting summer ahead, especially for XRP and altcoins. Here's the kicker. History could be repeating itself. In a video I shared yesterday, I broke down the evidence. During this same point in the last 2 cycles, we saw the market come alive. Summer 2021 was anything but boring. Bitcoin made its move. And let's not forget 2017 when both Bitcoin and the broader crypto market surged. According to the blockchain backer, we even had a technical altcoin season that summer. Back in 2017, we saw yet another surge, an alt season that left its mark. Fast forward to today, and many are buzzing about the potential for another alt season this summer. If the idea of 4-year cycles holds true, history could very well rhyme with itself. The signs are there and it's got people talking. But here's the catch. Timing is everything, as one expert puts it. This is a moment to step back, see the bigger picture, and keep the faith if you've got skin in the game. Yes, higher prices may take time, but patience has always played a key role in these cycles. Stay focused. Good things are often just around the corner, and analysts are optimistic about what's to come. Meet the legendary chart analyst Matsby as he dives into the ever-important Total 3, tracking the crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. According to Matsby, the stage is set, and all of crypto is gearing up for something big. Here's the kicker. He's comparing the current moment to where we were just before the explosive 2021 crypto surge. If you're watching closely, we might just be standing at the edge of another thrilling chapter. Check out this insight from chart analyst Mustache. He's spotting the same exciting trend. Taking a look at the total 3 chart, he predicts one of the biggest waves since November 2024 is just around the corner. And honestly, the chart looks fantastic. It's shaping up to be a near perfect replay of 2023/2024. Here's the kicker. It's not just Mustache. Tons of reputable analysts with strong track records are saying the same thing. This setup is looking primed for a major move. The question isn't if, but when. Whether today, tomorrow, next week, or a few months from now, We're in that moment where everything is ready to ignite. Any day could be the day, and that's what makes this so exciting. We're not anywhere near a cycle peak yet. There's still room to run. And trust me, when we do start hitting overheated territory, I'll be the first one to sound the alarm. I'm sounding the alarm for anyone willing to listen, because it's not a matter of if, but when. At some point, the market will shift. And when it does, I know some folks will be pointing fingers saying, why didn't you warn us? Well, consider this your warning. Right now, as prices climb, it's easy for people to get swept up in the momentum and think it'll last forever. What are you talking about? You'll say, the market's booming. Sure, it looks great for now, but markets overheat. And when they do, it almost always happens when everyone's convinced it can't. That said, we're not seeing those red flags just yet. So here's the good news. The best is still ahead. I'm convinced of it. Keep your eyes open, because the tide always turns when you least expect it. Chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto has an interesting take. Out of 30 Bitcoin bull cycle peak indicators, not a single one has gone off yet. According to him, if we truly hit the bull cycle peak, at least 5 of these indicators should have lit up by now. Intriguing, right? Mikey's been digging into the metrics, and guess what? They're not behaving the way they historically do during cycle peaks. No flashing red lights, no all systems go for peak profits. It's just quiet, too quiet. Here's the deal. When those signals do start firing, it's going to be a big moment. If you don't take profits when the alarm bells are ringing, you might find yourself riding the profits straight into a ditch. But hey, it's your call. I'm not your financial advisor. You know your life, you do you. That said, when the time comes, I'll be shouting it from the rooftops. Trust me, you'll know. For now, let's keep an eye on the metrics, relative strength index, and others, and see how this all plays out. Here's the deal. There are some glaring signs that are simply too obvious to ignore. You can spot them a mile away if you're paying attention. And trust me, they'll be paired with all kinds of human behaviors lighting up your social media feed. Think over-the-top excitement, the crypto fear and greed index swinging wildly, and that unmistakable buzz in the air. If you've been through at least one bull cycle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When these signals start flashing, it's not just coincidence, it's a pattern. And while everyone else is jumping on the hype train, churning out flashy YouTube videos with clickbait headlines, I'm here to do the opposite. Why? Because sometimes the smartest move isn't to ride the wave, it's to pause, take a breath, and think things through. I'll be straight with you. If it starts looking like a time to be cautious, you deserve to know. While others chase the clicks and the hype, I'll be the one waving the flag of honesty. Exciting predictions are lighting up the XRP community. Chart analyst CW has shared an XRP/USD chart suggesting a potential breakout to $4.50 in the short term. He believes we could soon see a new all-time high, with price discovery kicking off this summer. Optimism is spreading fast. But wait, there's more. Waters Above, another respected analyst with a massive following of 89K, just declared this could be an XRP summer. His bold forecast, XRP hitting $15 by July 24, 2025. Yes, you read that right, $15. And it doesn't stop there. Greg Crypto is also calling for serious action, predicting XRP soaring past $12 this summer. The buzz among analysts is real, and the excitement is contagious. Of course, no one can say for sure how this will play out, but the momentum building around XRP is hard to ignore. So let's talk about why this summer might not be so quiet for crypto. Historically, summers have a reputation for being slow. People go on vacation, markets cool off, and the excitement fades. You've probably heard the old saying, sell in May and go away. But here's the thing, that wasn't the case in 2017 or 2021. Those summers were electric for crypto, marking the final stretch of their respective bull cycles. Fast forward to now, 2025, we're 4 years past the last bull market, and if history has taught us anything, it's that cycles like to rhyme. The stars or chart seem to be aligning for another action-packed season, and it's not just speculation. Remember when Raoul Pal and Julian Biddle from Global Macro Investor called it? They've been shouting from the rooftops, pointing to global liquidity trends and Bitcoin's correlation with them. Their prediction? Bitcoin could hit $140K by July. Sounds bold, right? But with past trends and current signals, it's starting to feel less like a wild guess and more like a calculated projection. Here's the buzz. If Bitcoin continues to mirror global market trends, and it's been closely linked to them for years, we might be in for an exciting ride. No promises, of course, but that's the outlook some sharp minds are pointing to. Take Jordy Visser, for instance. He recently chatted with Anthony Pompliano and laid out some compelling reasons why the market could heat up this summer. And he's not just some random voice. This guy knows his stuff. In fact, a growing number of well-respected analysts in crypto and finance are sounding optimistic about the months ahead. They're not throwing wild guesses out there. These are seasoned experts with data and experience backing them up. Now, I'm not here to guarantee anything. It's the crypto world after all, but the arguments are hard to ignore. Historically, we've seen patterns like this play out before, and there's enough precedent to make this optimism feel more than just wishful thinking. Could we see Bitcoin hit $15 by July? Maybe, maybe not, but it's not a crazy idea. Here's an interesting take from chart analyst Zoom. By the end of August or early September, XRP should have made its final move up and wrapped up its run. Not financial advice, of course, but here's the key message. Don't get stuck holding the bag with just a screenshot. Take profits while you can. I've got to say, I appreciate this perspective. It's another reminder that timing is everything, and that's why I'll be shouting from the rooftops when those top signals start flashing. Zoom isn't the only one saying this. Several analysts who nailed XRP's breakout this cycle are pointing to this summer as the grand finale. So take it for what it's worth, but credit where credit is due. Let's see if they're on the money. Let's talk about some bold XRP price predictions, shall we? Chart analyst Steph is Crypto has thrown out some ambitious targets, listing levels like $23.73 and even $37.55. Now, I'll admit I'm a bit skeptical about hitting that $37 mark this cycle, but hey, never say never. If an insane wave of capital floods in, who knows what could happen? That said, most of you reading this probably got in at much lower prices. You don't need XRP to hit astronomical heights to see life-changing gains. And that's the beauty of it, right? Even without reaching those sky-high targets, there's still plenty of room for excitement. I'll be cheering loudly for anyone cashing in at those highs and celebrating your wins right alongside you. But truth be told, I'll have left the market long before it ever gets there, if it even does. Honestly, I don't think it's likely, but hey, maybe I'll be proven wrong. That's the fun of the game, right? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure, the best is yet to come. I'm an optimist at heart, and I'm genuinely curious. What do you think about all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are we in for some sizzling action this summer? How high do you think things could go? 10, 20, maybe 50? What feels realistic to you? Well, there's no right or wrong answer here, just a chance to share your perspective and join the conversation. After all, speculation is part of the fun, right? Oh, and just a quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't base your buying or selling decisions on my musings. Seriously, that's not the move. Let's keep it interesting though. What's your take?